Time to see what the wizards are up to.
Hey,
All
everybody.
right, we were muted. Hello, you can hear us now. Thanks for joining us on our weekly stream. We have a few things to cover and a guest as well this week, so we can jump right into it. Oops, see that. So every week we do a giveaway. I just want to congratulate Jobs21 on Discord for winning the Epic Tyrants packs. It's a really cool expansion for Epic card game.
Did you have enough "ah" in there?
I'm not sure. It reminds me, I was playing a game with someone last night and their name was like DJ. I was like, how do you pronounce this? And then our current giveaway is for High Alert, which is the newest set of expansion packs that we have out for Star Realms. So if you don't have that, or if you'd like to give it to a friend, you can enter that. And we post about the giveaways each week on our social media. So if you are not following us on social media, please, go check us out. And Saf can post in the comments below how specifically to enter for this week's giveaway. So yeah, and we do ship worldwide. I'll just mention that. We have two of our team members. So this is a picture of them playtesting KAPOW. CJ and Connor are heading out to Las Vegas tonight. We have never actually been to Dice Tower West, and we wanted to reach sort of that area audience and try it out. So we're just sending two people. We'll have a couple of demo tables. We'll be demoing our games. And they're pretty excited to be going to Vegas as well. None of us have really been traveling much. So yeah, I think it's good to get a little sunshine in the winter when you live in New England.
And CJ has a lot of experience in the company. He is both a designer and developer for paper stuff. So he's done like lean design on some Epic sets. He's done development on all of our games. He's done work on KAPOW and a lot on Robot Quest Arena and such. And he also does work on the digital team. So basically, if you have random questions about various aspects of the company, CJ's
questions, demands, new features.
Yeah, so you can talk to CJ in person.
CJ, and we'll also have secret promo cards there. So they'll be running learn to plays for specific games, but you can stop by and they'll have promo cards. So if you already know our games, just want to stop by and say hi, you can ask them for a promo card.
Yep, free promo.
They can give you a promo card. They might have for people who know, because I'm mentioning it here, they might have one or two other promo cards there as well. So if anyone comes that already has this card, they may have a small number of other promo cards for our fans that might already have this card.
I'm kind of jealous. I want to go to Vegas.
Yeah, we get to go to Reno. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we're going to
Reno will be fun,
which used to be in Las Vegas. So yeah, I told them you guys are going to have Vegas is just an interesting, exciting place. I'm a super night owl, and CJ is too. And, for anyone who's been to Vegas, it can be like 5 a.m, 2 a.m, and it just feels like it's the middle of the day. All the casinos just feel like all day and all night because they don't want you to ever leave and go to bed. They just want you to gamble. And there's just a lot to see. I mean, the desert's really beautiful out there as well. So Gamma, which is our industry trade show, is used to be in Vegas, and they moved it to Reno. So the good news is we'll be like in a hotel with everyone for networking purposes, because there isn't like a whole lot to do right by the hotel. So that's actually pretty good. But we did enjoy going to Vegas when we did go to Vegas. So Gamma is a show where local game stores and distributors and other companies in the industry, publishers, game designers come together. And it's a much smaller event than typical board game conventions. And a lot of business gets done there, and sort of catching up and checking in on our partnerships. So we'll meet with some of our partners that, do like foreign language products, potentially distributors. We'll meet with some game designers. We'll meet with lots of game stores, and we demo our games to game stores as well. So we've updated our catalog, and we'll have that there for game stores that stop by our booth. And we also have, which we showed last week, a new promo card, which we'll be giving out to game stores as well. And if they sign up for our Buy From Us Direct program, they can get 10. I think it's 10 of those in the pack of the Stingrays, which are really cool new blob promo card.
Yeah, so if your game store is in the is going to Gamma, just ask them to stop by our booth. They can pick up a promo card, or if they sign up for our free retailer direct program, they can get a whole pack of those promo cards, so they can bring some back for you guys and pick up our catalog. And through the retailer direct, they can order any of our products. So obviously they can get their products through the regular distributor, but if they need something and the distributor doesn't have it in stock, they can order direct from us, and then so they can basically get you anything, including they get opportunities to get cool exclusive stuff as well. So that's a cool thing for stores.
So Storm Shield asks, what about promo packs? So I need a little more clarity on the question. I'll say this might be about promo, the promo cards that aren't yet.
So basically, promo pack 1 exists is a thing in Star Realm. So basically, old promos from many years ago. And we actually just recently, I've created the card list for promo pack 2, which will contain promo cards. Again, these will be several-year-old promo cards that were at conventions and were used for organized play and stuff. Many years ago. Those will then get new artwork and become available. We're also going to make a promo pack 1 for Hero Realms. So that'll be coming later this year or early next year into retail. So basically, any promo cards that we have, like the Seeker or the any cards that we have at Gamma or through Board Game Geek or through like a Dice Tower thing, all these promotional cards that we make. If you miss out on them, you can either try and get them, now, or you can wait, and eventually we will give them new artwork and put them in a promo pack. And those promo packs will be available at retail. You can also get before, if you don't want to wait for them to come out in retail in the promo pack form, you can always back a Kickstarter, and we have like various promo cards that are only available through our Kickstarters. But eventually those will get new art and be in promo packs that you can get at your stores. And your original ones will always be cool because they'll have the original art. So hopefully that answered your question. If not, just clarify.
Yeah, clarify. And of course, every week we take questions from chat. So if you have questions about anything, you can drop them in the chat. And if this is your first time joining us, definitely like our page or subscribe if you're on YouTube or Twitch. So we have a couple other quick topics, and then we're going to chat with our friend Larry, who we'll introduce soon. So first, we just want to there was a Star Realms update that came out this week. It's already out. So do you want to?
So with this, we have some bug fixes and such in it as usual. The big things that we're doing with this are adding new foils. So the tech cards, we have foil versions of those that you'll be able to win through upcoming arenas and such. We're also going to be start rotating in some older foils that people could have won many years ago into the rotation for like arena prizes and that sort of thing. So if there are some foils from way back in the day that you missed, like a foil cutter, for example, cards like that will rotate into the prizes. So sometimes there'll be a new card, like a new tech card, as a prize. Sometimes there'll be a foil card that we did years ago as a prize. So basically, for those who missed them, you'll get another opportunity.
I missed some.
Yes. You might have missed them because you weren't playing. You might have missed them because you didn't win that week. But yeah, that will be we'll be giving you second chances at some of those older foils.
And I just want to mention, Joel mentioned in the comments that we also, some of our promo cards, if you're looking for specific promo cards that you don't have, some are available on Board Game Geek, on the Geek store for sale. And also we do have a trade channel. I'm not sure how active it is on Discord. So if you're looking for a specific card and you want to try to find out if someone else has it so you can do a trade, you can post in there as well.
And we like supporting the Board Game Geek is, good for the community. And also, like, if you are doing tournaments locally, like maybe you're doing something at a convention, or if you want to run a tournament online through like a Facebook group or whatever, you can email customer support at wisewizardgames.com. We love supporting you guys with like promo cards and that sort of thing. So it's not so we'll support the big guys like Board Game Geek so they can earn a little more money through their store and help keep those things on the community available for the community. But we'll also do support for just local gamers. So if you guys want to run a tournament or something, just
and we've done like credits for winners in some of the online Star Realms tournaments. We've done for bigger tournaments, we've done like sending up play mats and different things. So just you can email support, you can reach out to me, and we'll get you hooked up if you want to run a tournament. We love that people are excited and enthusiastic to run tournaments.
So on the Hero Realm side of things, we've got an update that's going to be coming next week. This one's going to have a lot going on in it, and we are moving towards a full release. And one of the things, so there's a lot of stuff that's getting the app ready for that. But there's also we're doing some bigger experimentation here because we want to sort of lock things in, sort of find the best possible version of the game before we make it widely available, to the public. So let's. So first off, we're gonna have we're gonna be moving to an email-based login system. So you'll be able to log in with your username or your email. For existing players, you're not going to have to add any information because obviously we have your email because you signed up through the Kickstarter or through or through late backing. But new players will also have the option of adding their email in so that we'll be able to communicate with them. And that way, if they ever get disconnected from their account, they'll be able to get back in. We're doing a change to the bows, basically some clarifications and making things a little bit simpler for players. First off, we're adding the fact that the light crossbow counts as a bow. The physical cards have this small line of text which lists it, what it is: item, weapon, the ranged weapon, bow, those sorts of clarifiers, which we've dropped from the digital for ease of reading the cards, etc. But it wasn't 100% clear to people that the crossbow was a bow, so we are adding that on there so that that's going to combo with your arrows. We're also trying out making it so that the order doesn't matter. So previously you have to play your bow first, and then when you play an arrow, okay, I've got a bow out, I'll draw a card. We're making it so that you can play your arrows first and then play your bow, or play your bow first and then play your arrows. And basically, once you have both the bow and the arrow in play, you'll get those card draws. So just trying to make it a little less
I really like it.
Order based on the play there. A really big play change that we're doing is making your starting health your maximum health. So obviously this will have a significant impact on cleric, who often would get very, very high health totals. But it also will impact, like the thief, or sometimes, like the wizard cleric players who might activate an ability that could have some health gain attached to it early. You may run into your health cap and not be able to gain more health. There's a few reasons why we want to try this. The biggest is a game length issue. So the games in Hero Realms, online games, tend to have a length that's about 1.5 to 2 times as long as an online Star Realms game. And for live play, we want to try and reduce the amount of time it takes to get a game in. And there are some scenarios you run into, primarily with like cleric on cleric, where you can get some really skyrocketingly high health totals, and that play experience isn't the most fun. And it also leads to very long games. We obviously have the fatigue system, which sort of caps game length eventually because you start taking damage, but it's not the most satisfying way to handle it. Also, for new players, maximum health being what you start at is very intuitive. Like, oh, I have this healing. If I'm injured, I get better. But once I'm fully better, okay, that's it. That makes a lot of sense to people. So basically, this should make things a little more intuitive for new players. Reduce the incredible game length that you can sometimes get on when both sides are gaining a lot of health. And frankly, for a lot of the play options for a cleric, usually it doesn't really matter whether you're at full health or 150 health or whatever. Like basically, if they're unable to really knock down your health, the game's more about, okay, I'm going to make my deck disgusting and win in the end. And if one player or the other makes their deck really, really gross, even if you're at 200, you're going to get that health knocked down. So basically, taking away that super high cap, I don't think will have a major impact on them. It also is nice in that after we changed the mace, giving the cleric that gold boost, the cleric's win percentages are a little bit too high. So basically, this will serve as a minor nerf, which hopefully will bring the win percentages where we want them to be. Obviously, we're going to be looking at all the classes continuously throughout to make sure that people can get decent win rates with all the different character choices, all the different item and skill choices, etc. So yeah, that's
keep the game length to
yeah.
reasonable
amount and
well.
keep the game length as reasonable amount. And now some other things we're doing to work on that online game length and to try and improve play experience. We're changing the clock system from the chess clock style system to more of a Star Realms style. What we do in Star Realms, where basically you have a certain amount of time to play your turn, and as you make plays, you get a little bit of extra time for each play that you make. And if you end your turn early, you get bonus time that transfers to your next turn. So you're always encouraged to move your turn along as quickly as you can, because any time savings that you have, half of that proceeds to the future turn. So you're basically rewarded for playing a little bit more quickly. But if you need the time, you can totally take it. And we're trying to reduce the number of clicks by making it so that things which have choices like, oh, discard 2 cards, you'd select the 2 cards that you wanted to discard and then verify, yep, I want to discard these 2, then the cards would discard. We're removing that verification. So basically, if you're told to discard 2 cards, you click, and when you click the second card, you'll discard those 2 cards immediately and not have to click anything. If you're like, oh my gosh, those were not the cards I wanted to discard, this is terrible, you just click the undo button. It's already there. So just click the undo button and the cards come back in your hand and you can choose whatever 2 cards you want. Little things like that where basically we're removing the verification step because the undo button exists and you can just click that to back up. That sort of just speeds up and smooths out gameplay a little bit. We're also doing a thing with the implementation of this system. I believe for live games, you'll have one, you can undo the most recent play, but if you then proceed to another play and then press the undo button, it'll only undo the last thing you did. So basically, whatever the last most recent thing you did, as long as it wasn't drawing a card or seeing new information, like seeing a new card in the market deck, you can undo it, but you can only undo that one step. So if you screw up, just click undo and back up before you do the next thing. This will allow us to transmit information to the server more frequently, which then allows the other player to see what you're doing in a more real-time fashion, so that when it's their turn to do something, they'll be able to make that choice more quickly. So those are the big
Thank
heroes.
you. So we had a couple comments. I'll just put them up here really quick from Casper and from Agent C13. They're not fans of the order change. We would say, try it out.
Yeah.
We are open to feedback. A lot of these things we're trying them out, see how they go.
Generally speaking, it's going to be both good and bad for you playing the Ranger. The bad news is sometimes you'll want to do stuff and not draw a card, and you were able to control that order, so that'll make it you slightly weaker. But there's also times where you've played cards and then end up drawing later in the turn, and oh my gosh, there's a bow here now. So basically, giving it'll be a little less punishing if you do things in the wrong order, which will make them slightly better. But the main issue being when there's things that only occasionally give you game effect, but frequently, but you have to deal with every single time. We try and those are areas where we might tweak the rules slightly to make online play faster and more pleasant for the majority of players. Basically, the more people we can get playing and enjoying the game, the easier it is to get those online matches. And basically, the more pleasant the game experience is going to be for everybody. But yeah, so that's obviously there'll be some things where it's like, oh, I wish I could, undo more times than that, or I wish I could, like control the order in this particular scenario. But basically, smoothing out that experience for everybody is what we're going for. Now, that said, this is why we're testing this stuff in the alpha. So maybe really don't like the health change or whatnot. Yeah. And this is an opportunity for us to put it out there, get our players used to it, and seeing after a couple of weeks, and we see how the play is going. Then we can get feedback from everybody and see what people like, what people don't like. So I think that all these changes are going to be real positive for the game. But obviously, we're going to try it out with everybody, and we'll see.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to answer this question quick. We have a couple of other questions that have come in on other topics, which we'll cover at the end of the stream. And if anyone has other questions about anything, you can post them in, and we'll get to them at the end. If you want to address this one,
so basically, this is a very valid question. Like, the Bless of Steel branch makes your stuff harder to take out. The Bless of Soul branch gives you larger quantities of health when you're doing your blessings. And there's a question of, okay, well, will the Bless of Soul is obviously a little bit weaker if your health is capped lower. So yeah, it might cause an imbalance. But the important thing to know or to remember is that these skills and abilities are not set in stone. We're going to be looking at the branches and seeing, okay, everybody's choosing this side, or this side of a branch gets a much higher win percentage. We're going to go through and nerf and buff as necessary to make sure that the sides are even. And so it's possible that we would that we'll change some of these things to make sure that people have good options with whichever branch they go with. And we have same thing with treasures. Like if one treasure is getting picked all the time over another, or if has way higher win percentages, we're going to be looking at that. The idea is we want you to have all kinds of cool, interesting ways to build your character. We want you to be able to try, I want to try a fighter with this weapon. I want to try a thief with this skill. And build them in multiple different ways, and each one having fun, cool options that you can go for, and just trying to get that balance as close. Like from a designer perspective, when I look at the stats and it's like 50-50 on the choices, and the win percentages are about even on the two, I'm super excited. That's what I want to see. And it's not always going to be the case initially. And also, as the metagame changes, these things might shift. But we're going to be the Heroms digital is going to be a living app where we're constantly watching the metagame and making sure that we've got good balance there. So like on a lot of digital games, there'll be regular power balance updates where, okay, we tweak this a little, we tweak that a little.
So we have a couple other questions, but I want to wait till the end because our friend Larry Bogucki is joining us, who I'll add him to the stream. And thank you, Larry, for joining us. And I know you're taking time out from work, so want to chat with you.
So we met Larry through KAPOW, and when we saw them at Boston Festival of Indie Games, and we fell in love with KAPOW and looked to bring it into as a Wise Wizard game. So Larry is one of the designers, and would be fair to say lead developer on KAPOW.
Yeah, I mean, Doug Hetrick is the lead designer. I've done a lot of work on it for sure, along with Doug and Carl Van Ostrand as well. Yep.
And the two-time Porcupine team is Larry, Doug, and Carl. Great guys, and have tons and tons of prolific game designers. All of them have a bunch of cool designs, and you guys have do a lot of play. So why don't you talk a little bit about your company and your process?
Yeah, and I'm also curious about like how you work it into your work-life balance, because I've met your family. I know you also have other things that you do in your life. So I would love to design games, but I have my day job. I'm doing operation stuff at Wise was a Game. So I'm very intrigued by people who are able to like be prolific designers and do so many other things in their life. How do you carve out the time? And
yeah, well, I'm wearing my costume for my day job currently. I was thinking about changing into something more casually for this video and then changing back to this. But yeah,
I thought you dressed up for us.
This is what I wear Monday through Friday. But yeah, when I'm not working, I'm often thinking about game design. And yes, I have a wonderful family, and I've tried to get them into my life of gaming, but haven't been successful with that so far. But I'm always thinking about different games, whether it's on the road as I'm driving for meetings, or as I'm going to sleep, and even sometimes I wake up with a new design in my mind. So it's just something I've been doing for literally for decades now. It's just been a big part of my life. So you just find a way to cram it in there. It's what I love. It's what I'm passionate about, and I'm constantly doing it. And I think the same can be said for a lot of the other designers I work with. Doug and Carl are always, and they all have their own jobs as well, but they're always thinking about what is the next. How can we implement this mechanic in this scenario, and it just never stops. And it's a good thing, though. Like I said, it's a passion.
Yeah. So we've had the pleasure of visiting you in your at your house and getting to play in your game room.
Way nicer than our game room.
Yeah. So basically, you guys do like almost like a little mini convention where you get people together to play games and play test things. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're fortunate. We moved to this house almost 8 years ago, and we have this large basement. And when I saw the house and I saw the basement, I'm like, all right, this is going to be perfect for holding little mini conventions. We literally do that. I think we sometimes have had like 30 people over to play games down there and do a whole day of it. But what's nice about that is it's great to get a lot of play testing in those scenarios where if you have people for the whole day, you have food there, we have a kitchen down there and everything. So people are happy to come and play test a bunch of different games, and you get a lot of good feedback from days like that. And in fact, right before we went and did the final changes to KAPOW, right before COVID, we're hitting. I can't say the final changes, but a lot of the play testing for season 2 KAPOW we did a lot of it down there, and we had about 30 people over for 10 hours, and we were just banging out. It was all KAPOW pretty much all day, and it was just a lot of great data. Yeah.
I love how for like some of your sessions, you like really do set it up like a convention where it's like, okay, we've got these various games that are happening, and you literally have like time slots, and it's like, okay, gosh, and the 1 o'clock time slot, do I want to play this game or this game or this game? And
very organized.
Yeah, I do that because if not, there could be a lot of chaos. And if people are coming to play games, and we all want to socialize and catch up, and there's always time for that as well. But if you put just a little bit of organization behind that, I think everyone's time can be a little bit more efficient. Yeah. And if there's a game that you really wanted to play and you had the opportunity to sign up for that in advance, well, then that's going to make it even more exciting to come. And it just, I think overall it creates a better experience. So I try to do that, whenever possible. Just a little bit more organization. Yeah.
I really loved that system, and it did just makes it feel like a small game convention, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, I love how like game design, like game designer, hobbyist game designers, and entrepreneur game designers and such. Just everybody's so open and happy to work and to make each other's games better. And like, yeah, it really feels like a community where, you know, like it's not about, oh, I want to get mine and I don't want them to get theirs. No, everybody's pulling together. You know, when somebody's having some success with something, everybody gets excited about it. It's just, yeah, it's really wonderful.
Yeah. We've done a lot with that, with the 2-ton porcupine. And again, that's Doug Hetrick, Carl Van Ostrin, and we met a number of years ago and collaborated on KAPOW. And we formed an LLC and self-published KAPOW initially until we met you guys. And now we have a much bigger release coming. So excited about that. But at the same time, we all are doing our own things as well. Carl has had tremendous success with Merchant's Cove. It's going to be top 1,000 on Board Game Geek very soon.
Fantastic, yeah.
Bardwood Grove, which is the Kickstarter was very successful. That's coming out, and you know, so he did that, and I was play testing it all through COVID online. You know, digital play testing on Tabletop Simulator, going back to just trying to help each other out. So even though we're all kind of doing our own thing at this point in time, we're brought together by KAPOW and 2-ton porcupine, and we're still very much involved in each other's designs. Currently, I'm working with another guy by the name of Chris Swan. I think he's done a little work for you guys in the past as well.
Yeah, we love him.
Yeah, so he and I are partners, really. We have a bunch of new things we're working on, we're really excited about. So I actually can't wait to see you guys and show you some of the new designs that we have.
Yeah, and you've got a couple of games that are, so often for you people who haven't done game design stuff, as a game designer, you'll frequently have like games on the shelf that you're working on, like, you know, like you have an idea and you get excited and you build it and play, and then you'll tweak it and, you know, back and forth. And often you'll have like multiple games where you've got various concepts sort of percolating. Larry, I've gotten to play a couple of your unpublished games, which are a lot of fun. Like, I don't know how much I can spoil.
I think you played Knights of the Realm was the last one you played. Yep.
But yeah, so I've been really enjoying the trying out like the various stuff that you've got cooking, and I've gotten to see, like, you know, I've done a play session and be like, oh, this is pretty good. I would probably, you know, tweak some of these areas, and then like and then you work a bunch on it, and then we, you know, next time we play, it's like, oh wow, a lot of these things are a lot smoother, you know, like, and you know, it's fun sort of seeing the evolution of it, the process, the evolution.
Yeah, we've been hard at work on a lot of stuff. We have some stuff that is that we're actively pitching to publishers now, and we have some other stuff that I think is going to be really great that will be ready very soon. So yeah, it's always ongoing, and it brings a lot of happiness to me, myself personally. Yeah. So yeah, I'm always doing it.
Yeah, fun passion projects, which, you know, sometimes make a little bit of money. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of things that bring you joy, you seem to get a lot of joy out of the Hero Realms battles. I remember, like, it's a while back, you sort of set your sights on, I am going to become a Hero Realms legend, and you really ramped up your Hero Realms play skill. Can you sort of talk a little bit about your Hero Realms play experience and the process of sort of, you know, getting better at competitive play?
Sure. And you can see my Hero Realms in-game name is there in parentheses, Horgel. And I'm actually very much a newbie still at Hero Realms. So I played Star Realms. I've been playing Star Realms for a number of years, play on the app, but not very much. I'm very much, I love the fantasy element. I love the fantasy theme. So I was never a hardcore Star Realms player, never played beyond the basic set. And then when we met you, and I think we were down at PAX Unplugged, and Deb gave us some promo packs, and I think I had the Hero Realms box set, and I started playing a little bit. And then when I heard the app was going to come out, I was like, that's it. So I didn't play a lot of the box set. I was like, when the app comes out, I'm going to refocus, because I had been playing Hearthstone rather competitively for years, like hit legendary with every class. Like 7 years of Hearthstone was my game, and I basically quit it to play Hero Realms. And so I play it, you know, constantly. I still have a lot to learn. I did become the legend down at the most recent tournament. And,
Yes.
Congratulations.
yeah, no, I was super excited. I didn't necessarily expect that would happen that quickly because I'm still learning, and there's still many players out there that whoop me on a regular basis. But it was a smaller tournament because of COVID, but yet there were some very high quality players there. Birdlaw had won. He's a double legend.
Yeah.
Dalai Lama is a great player. There was also a lot of highly competitive Star Realms players there. I think the Cutter was there, and there was another guy, Ken G, that had played tens of thousands of Star Realms games. And
that's often the case when a big tournament like that is small because of like issues like COVID, etc. The people who do show up are like the hardcore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still no joke.
No, not at all. I felt very fortunate to win because what I had not realized until just a few weeks before the tournament is the way the format was, where we weren't playing without the heroes in the Swiss.
Yes.
And almost entirely all my experience was playing with heroes. So I did, a couple of, training sessions, if you will. Doug's nephew, Dotson, who is Zeetz in the Hero Realms community. He's on one of the Tavern Brawl teams. He's actually a really great player. So we did like maybe a 7-8 hour session just playing without the heroes. And then I did several more sessions like that in preparation, because that aspect of my game was actually relatively weak.
Sure.
So I had to kind of get up to speed on that, and then thankfully in the finals we could go to heroes. So that was more in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, and we will have Digital Legends series events in the future. So if you're a Hero Realms player, the Hero Realms digital player, and you're like want to compete in these big tournaments, we will have ones online. We've done that for Star Realms, and we will be doing that for Hero Realms when we have the tournament capability within the app. And then you'll be playing more digital style, where basically I love the character packs and the leveling process. Those portions of Hero Realms, they are much more difficult to highlight in the physical game. And so when we do physical tournaments, we focus more on sort of the core paper product. And we do bring in the characters, but they're just level 3, set at level 3 for the tournament. But in the digital, we're going to be able to do real cool stuff.
Yes.
Like we're going to be able to do tournaments where you pick your character. We'll do things where you start a tournament at a certain level, maybe level 1, maybe level 3, and every round of the tournament you level up and are making those level up choices. So you'll have to work on your game for a character all the way through the progression. We can also do tournaments where you're just level 12 at the start of this tournament, or basically set level tournaments where you pick a class and you're at a specific level all the way through. There's so many dials as a tournament organizer that I can turn on the Hero Realms app that'll make for some really, really cool tournament experiences. So I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting and amazing, and it's actually a perfect segue into that stuff is actually going on right now on Fan Run through Realms Rising. So quick shout out to Realms Rising and Adam that runs Realms Rising. It's all organized there. They have an amazing Discord community, as well as realmsrising.com if you're looking for strategies, tips, podcasts. It's all there, realmsrising.com. And through the Discord community, there are currently four player run events. We just finished Rick DeMille ran the very first ever HRPC Hero Realms Premier Circuit. I did not do well, but super big congratulations to The Cat Says Meow for winning not only first, but second. You could enter all 5 characters into the event. They had 185 entries. Not everyone put all 5 in. I did. To get all that far. Going to get them next time. But The Cat Says Meow won first and second. That's just amazing.
That's amazing.
Yep. Shout out to Double Dubs, who won third. Doodle Tupe, who came in fourth. It was a great event, and they're going to do, I think, actually, in the coming days, the sign up for HRPC Season 2 will be up and live. There's also something called the Tavern Brawl that's going on. That's really just fun. It's a draft. You have 5 players on a team. You have a team captain, and each player plays one class. So I'm the thief on my brawl team, and so that's pretty cool. And you go up against other teams every week. You have your assigned matchups. So that's just a lot of fun. Agent C13, Tim is putting out a Highlander series that's going to start, I believe, actually tomorrow. And you enter 3 characters into that. It's single elimination. Your characters have to be level 7 or better. And then last but not least, there's also run by Agency 13 is the King of the Castle, which is just kind of like you have one person at the top and people are trying to defeat them. And how long can you stay up there? So there's a lot of great player run events already. And this is just the beta. So I can't wait to, full release and just to see what this is going to become. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
I love the stuff that happens both in the Star Realms community and in the Heroms community with the community creating their own events. Is just so cool, and they can do a lot of cool formats that when we sometimes we put features directly into the app, but you have to worry about player diffusion, where basically, if you have 2 different ways to play. If there's one way to play, somebody joins the queue, they're playing that way, someone else joins the queue, yay, we can pair them up. As you get and more ways to play, it subdivides the queue and things can get more challenging. But some of these formats are just so cool for the advanced players to be able to play. And of course, we have the challenge feature in the app. So basically, you can create whatever cool formats that you want and then organize it on, online or in person with your friends. And then through the challenge system, you can get those games, going and really sort of, customize your play experience the way you want. So speaking of which, if there are features that people want within the challenge things, those are things that we can fairly easily modify and also allow you to do, some wacky different stuff in the games. That's something that a way that we can sort of support local or online events that we really enjoy.
Well, that's cool that you can have that level of customization. Yeah, just also shout out to Jingmalingpa for also helping the King of the Castle series, and to Agency 13 who started up a tutor program. So if you are if you haven't played much in the digital or you hadn't played at all, but you love Star Realms and you have the Heroms physical, or maybe you'd like to get into it, there's actually a tutor program that's up and running, so experienced players can help newer players get out there and improve their game. It's just amazing what this community is coming together, and I can't wait for it to grow even larger as we move on to the full release.
Yeah, so speaking so just to let people sort of know the general game plan for Hero Realms Digital, this in the near future, we're going to be going on to Steam Early Access, and then shortly after that, we want to go to the to just regular Steam and be on the iOS and Google Play, etc. So that basically people can find the app through their phones, just like they do with Star Realms. So basically, we'll be moving to a sort of a full release version. Now, some of the features that we are building will not be out yet. So, for example, there are some things that we're going to be giving to like the legend level backers. Some of those won't be implemented yet when we move to the full version. We're going to be doing like tournaments and such. Those won't be implemented yet. But basically, just like with the Star Realms app, we'll put it out when it's a great game for building a community, and then we'll be adding those features on a regular basis. We're also going to be adding content over time. So basically, we've got things like the promo pack from the first Hero Realms Kickstarter, which has a bunch of cool cards in it. Mm-hmm. We've got the Ancestry pack with all the different characters you can play as. We've got the Journeys packs. We've got the Journeys Kickstarter promos. And then we've got the stuff that we're building now, like the dungeons set for Hero Realms that you can see behind Debbie's head there. And so new cards for the market deck, new character classes, etc. So over time, we're going to be releasing this new content into the game. And we're also going to be increasing the level cap over time. So right now in the app, the level cap is 12. every 6 months or so, we're going to be creeping that level cap up. So you'll have like level cap 14, level cap 16, etc. over time. So basically, over time, you will get more and more cards to play with, and more characters to play as. You'll be able to do the ancestry thing, where you'll be able to play as like a small folk thief or an elven ranger, or like basically you'll have more more racing class options. And of course, all along we're going to be looking at the play balance and making sure that the play is fun and dynamic.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because actually I had a couple of questions to ask you. A couple actually from the community.
Yeah, go for it.
Jing Malingpa actually asked specifically about, will there be new content during the beta aside from the basic set? I think you've already answered that, but I think what I just want to get clarification on is that that's going to come after Steam early access, but before the full release. Everything you just said, is that in that time window, or
no? Basically, we'll be doing we'll have the full release, and then after that, we will have additional content rolling in. So we want to make sure. So we'll have, like we have in Star Realms, we will have a beta build which isn't part of the the general play community. So you basically will have two builds going on, and there will be one where we basically put experimental stuff in. But when you're in that version, you're not going to be able to play games with the rest of the world. And then we'll have the main version, which everybody will be in. Everybody who's been a backer and new players who are coming in will have access to that sort of main the main game. And in the main game, when we launch, it'll basically be the app that you guys are playing right now. We're obviously trying to smooth out a few things, etc. But level cap will be 12. It'll be base set only. The 5 character classes. Now, people will be able to play that for free with, I believe it's Fighter and Wizard with a level cap of 3. So basically, just like with Star Realms, where you can download the game and try it out for free, with the Heroms app, you'll be able to download it. You'll be able to play the easy AI. You'll be able to play, a little bit of a part of a campaign, and you'll be able to play. I think we're even going to be allowing. Our current plan is to even allow online games for levels 1, 2, and 3 with these classes. And then when you would level up to level 4, it lets you know, okay, that's the trial run. If you want to keep playing this character, you can buy the full version. And then that'll unlock the additional classes, and it'll bring you up to like the level 12 cap. And I have a roadmap for like 3 years worth of content for Hero Realms, where basically in that roadmap, every about 3 months, we have new content coming out. So basically the current plan is 3 months after release, we would be adding new cards. So basically we'll be adding the promo pack, the Hero Realms first promo pack cards, and then adding ancestries, after that. And basically there's this whole roadmap of, when we're going to be releasing stuff. And all along we'll be adding features to the game, like improving the user interface, adding tournaments, adding arena style stuff, adding tournaments, adding all the stuff like you see we're doing regular updates with Star Realms after what's been like the app's been out for 8 years or something. We're continuing to do regular updates. We'll be doing the exact same thing with Hero Realms, where we're going to have functionality updates, cosmetic updates, things that just sort of make the game smoother and nicer. We're going to be constantly doing. But as far as the content, will be full release, then a little bit then multiple times a year. Our sort of hope is 4 times a year, new things happening, but it might be 3, or depending on the time that the programming takes.
Right. A couple other questions for you. The first one's an easy question. In the latest update, there was some nice improvements. Some of the cards, when you buy them, they have an audible effect that goes off.
Yeah.
And then some say acquired. And I was just wondering, like, how did you decide which ones would have the audible effect, which ones would say acquired, or will they all have that eventually, or what was the
accents people have?
So basically, our long-term goal is to have these kinds of sound effect features throughout the app on basically on all the cards, or at least all, certainly all the cards of note in the game, on skills and abilities for the various characters. So we've got the digital teams working with voice actors and putting these things together. So basically, you're sort of seeing the work in progress. We're adding little bits as we go.
Really cool.
And basically we want feedback from players, like if you like it, not like it. Obviously, there's we can put in controls if people like really don't like particular features.
Yeah, the reward is very scary when she comes on and she says whatever she says. It frightens me a little bit.
Nice. But basically, if there's features that people want or are looking for, definitely let us know. We can't do everything, but we're trying. We're trying to make the play experience as good as possible. Obviously, we're a very small studio. We're compared to like a Blizzard, we're tiny. But that also makes us nimble. We're able to sort of look at what things the community wants and try and address them.
For now, but when Hero Realms gets as big as Hearthstone, then I hope you're still taking my calls. Then a more serious question though. Can you tell me which hero class has a lower winning rate than Thief?
Oh boy, I should have had my win percentage chart with me. So basically, this is sort of a moving target as we do balance changes. Right now, I believe the worst class is Fighter, and that is primarily due to the absolutely abysmal matchup with Cleric.
Now, taking Cleric out of this scenario, is Thief now?
Yeah, so I believe the next lowest win percentage is Thief.
All right, so those are my two most played favorite classes.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned the health, removing the health buff, that may affect the Cleric that's doing really well, but it also affects my poor Thief. So basically, the thief is definitely going to feel it if you've got, especially if you're on. I'm terrible with names, so I forget the names of my own cards. But the one where when you make them discard, you'll get gold on the next turn if they don't discard a card that costs gold. So that version, you'll frequently do that discard right on turn one and just keep it going. And so then you're likely going to be hitting that health cap. Now, it depends on what you're playing against and whether you're going first or second. So maybe that it doesn't affect you at all because, they drew their combat, they hit me on the first turn. All right, I'm gaining my health back and it's fine. But it definitely will, might shave some health off of the total that you would have had to play with in the old version. But what we're going to be doing is looking at the win percentages. So we're going to apply this. One, we're hoping this will help the Fighter matchup versus the Cleric a little bit because the Cleric's health won't run away. Now it may be stable for a while, but it won't skyrocket through the roof. So basically, you always have that puncher's chance where you can basically get one of those really hard hitting turns where you can do insane amounts of combat in a single turn and take somebody out that way. Or and it gives you some it gives you a better chance to maintain control. Right, so it's not so far out of hand. If you're sitting there with a fighter who's at 40 health and the Cleric's at 200, you just know the way the game's going. It's been decided.
Yeah.
I guess maybe with the buff changes though, the Thief is just a little bit of collateral damage. So that's my my plea to give the thief some love in the next.
Yeah. So basically, we're gonna try this, and then we're gonna look at what the win percentages look like. I already know we need to do work on the non-combat side of the sweeping side of the fighters' abilities. So right now, the most successful fighter builds are the going for up to the 4 damage on the shoulder bash, and going for the and just going for the pure combat on the crushing blow side of the tree. And I want to figure out a way to redesign the sort of the sweeping blow stuff to give better to have it work better, especially work better against turtling strategies where the player has a whole bunch of champions out. So and so it's a little tricky designing that and not making it like steal the thunder of the fireball tree for the for the wizard, etc. But we want to make sure that there are good options for good reasons for the fighter to go in both directions. So basically, looking at the exhausting champions. Now, exhausting champions is useful, but that side of the tree, but not clearly not useful enough, because the win percentages and the amounts of that are being chosen on that side of the trees are not getting it done. So so basically, we wanted to implement the new health system first, see what the stats look like, and then basically correct based on that, assuming that the new health will, as I suspect it will be, be popular once people get used to it. And then it's just a matter of balancing to make sure, like, obviously this will hurt certain classes, but then we can just help those classes in other ways to basically get the win percentages correct without having the super long games, which, with the absurd.
I have to commend you guys. This game is so finely balanced. You add 1 gold to a mace, and then the cleric meta is in full effect, right? I mean,
basically, I was so the PvP. So initially, all the leveling stuff was designed. Was originally designed for playing with in the campaign cooperative play. And that in cooperative play, some nice things about balance in cooperative play. It doesn't matter that much in cooperative play, because if somebody gets something super powerful and they're on your team, you're just like, yay! Larry's kicking everybody's butt. This is awesome. Go, Larry. So basically, but when you go PvP, obviously you want things to be balanced. And basically, we designed the PvP. This is one of the many improvements we made post Kickstarter and Heroms. Originally, like, the campaign was going to be like literally half the quantity of cards, and we doubled the quantity of cards, commissioned insane amounts of new art, etc., all like free for the backers, just like because we want to do cool stuff. Now, that's sort of typical for us, and our projects run a little long because we're like, we go crazy with things.
Kind of like with now, you made solo characters.
Yeah, like solo. I was just thinking, like the solo for every hero and villain in KAPOW.
So basically, that's a weakness of mine.
Somebody had to do all the play testing for those solo characters. I don't know who.
Yeah. But at any rate, with the campaign, the PvP of all these leveled up characters, we designed it and we tested it, but there is like an absurd number of combinations. Like, basically, you get into the like just crazy exponents when you start stacking change on change and matchup on matchup. Kind of thing where like you could get all your play testers in a room and wait till the heat death of the universe, and you wouldn't have enough time to like test every single possible option. So basically, I designed it primarily on theory, tested everything, single thing was tested, but not every single combination, not every single matchup, because that's just impossible. One of the great things about digital is we get to collect huge amounts of game data and see how things are going. But I was super pleased with how close we were on that from the get-go. We've obviously had to make some tweaks, but as you say, you make a small tweak and suddenly the percentages are just
Right.
around.
I mean,
like,
it just shows how close it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is fantastic. I absolutely just love the game. I have one more or maybe two more comments and then just one more question for you. A comment from the community, the Realms Rising community. They would like to see more dungeon spoilers. So I just want to get that in there.
Sure.
Last question I had, and then I want to make maybe a final comment on KAPOW. But last question I have on Hero Realms is, do you ever see balance changes to the base set cards? And with that, I'm talking about something like influence versus bribe, right? Clearly, bribe can be great in certain situations, but in the vast majority of situations, influence is the way to go. So things like that, do you think that may happen at some point, or?
So it's possible. I'm much less concerned about market cards that everyone has access to. In that deck builders sort of have this built-in balance to them where everybody's got a shot at it, and sort of learning to recognize which cards are good. So like a classic example of this from Star Realms is Cutter. So basically, Cutter is definitely significantly too powerful for a 2-cost card in Star Realms, but it kind of just is exciting. Like basically, oh, you can get it early, and and it's not like you can't win if you don't get it, but it definitely like is an exciting card to get. So basically, I'm a little less concerned about that, especially as we add new cards, because like it can make the game a little bit stale. It's like, oh, I know I should buy this over this, and then and that can sort of narrow your choices. But as you add more and more cards into the market, you see those binary choices a little less often, and there's more ways to go in strategies. Now, that said, we certainly may tweak a card balance in the market, at some point. But my primary concern is the stuff that's asymmetric, where basically I have a different thing than you because I'm playing the fighter and you're playing the thief, or I chose this treasure and you chose that treasure. So basically, making sure that those things are fair and balanced is a big deal. So so yeah, that's sort of our general philosophy on it. Certainly could change something at some point, but much less likely to change the market cards than the individual character cards.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't give just a nice hard plug for KAPOW as I'm on the show here. I know to all the folks out there, Realms Rising, and people that play on Star Realms, KAPOW, you can play it solo, you can play it co-op, you can play it with 3 players, you can play it with 4 players, but at its heart, it is a one-on-one battler. Yes, it's dice, not cards, but the way the dice are implemented are very different than what you may think. It's highly strategic, highly enjoyable. If you love Star Realms, if you love Hero Realms, you should go be a late backer for KAPOW right now while you're thinking about it. But when this game comes out, I think you will be surprised, and you'll really enjoy it if you pick it up. And hopefully we'll see it on digital someday. So KAPOW.
That was one of the things that really got us excited about KAPOW. Like playing it, it's a wildly different game than Star Realms, but it gives you the same kind of feeling like that like if you like Star Realms or you like Heroms, you're probably going to like KAPOW. And it's fast, it's fun, it's shockingly easy to teach, given you'll first look at the board and be like, ooh, there's a lot going on here. It might feel a little scary, but like the fact that there's like icons on your dice and there's icons on the stuff you want to activate and just like fill in the slots, super intuitive. Like when we demo it at conventions, it sells like hotcakes. When we ever have them to sell, like with the initial stock that we got when we brought in KAPOW, and we basically were able to show it at a big booth at a big show. Like, we sold, like we had a few hundred units left, and we blew through that in like one show. It's just boom.
Yeah, the team was selling the demo copies. People were like begging to buy the demo copies.
And super easy to learn. Like people just pick it up like that. It's fast. It's fun. It is, and much like playing a game of Star Realms or Hero Realms, you finish a game super fast, and the thing you want to do is then play another game. Like it just so. Yeah, I can't say enough about KAPOW. Looks like we have a question. Did you do anything with 1v3 boss scenarios?
Well, we have the 1v2 boss scenario, and that is against Sawmill Jackson and Porcupine, and those are just amazing battles because the mega villain and the mega hero are tuned to be able to very adequately face 2 players at once. They have amazing abilities that can get unlocked, and they operate unlike any of the traditional characters. So it's a lot of fun. And I claim to have the most KAPOW prowess on my team of 2-ton Porcupine with Doug and Carl, but Carl is, I think he's still undefeated with Sawmill Jackson. I don't know if we've played a lot of KAPOW. We've played a lot with these, and he's just so skilled at that mega villain that he crushes everyone with it.
Yeah, so that's we had some experiences like that with other games where basically there'd be a player who's just so talented. It's like, oh my gosh, do we need to recheck the balance on this? And then someone else plays it and be like, nope, it's just that person's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so KAPOW is awesome. We are, we're working with a printer right now to get our scheduled printing window. And I cannot wait to have the new sets out because we're really hoping to, I want to get them to backers as soon as possible and then be able to sell them after that, be able to sell them at trade shows. Be able to get them into stores because once that game's on the table, you're gonna want to play it. It is really awesome. I have a couple things I wanted to show real quick. We had some prototype minis. I also wanted to take a moment since we've been talking about Heroms Digital. We have our thoughts are with a member of our digital team who's lives in Ukraine. He has obviously been unable to work, and we're our thoughts are with him and his family, and with all the people of Ukraine. It's really terrible what's going on right now. It is going to have some effect on our digital team. We have people in that part of the world, and so things are going to be slower. So I just wanted to let everybody know, that's the reason why. And obviously, the safety of our people and their families is the number one thing. And we'll get they'll get back to work when they can, but our that's not our primary concern. But so I just wanted to let everybody know about that. But the rest of the team, we do have a pretty big digital team, so progress will continue to be made on the apps. It's going to be a little slower for a while.
So thank you, Larry, for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you, and hope to see you soon, maybe at PAX East.
Yeah, definitely at PAX East.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
And a couple other things to cover. We have been working, as you guys know, we've been working with the factory on the Robot Quest Arena Minis. We've also made 3D printed versions ourselves to be able to play with, etc. And hand painted them. So I wanted to show off some of our. Oh, there he is. So we've got.
We didn't paint them.
Oh yes, they were. Yes, we had them painted. Yeah. These were done by the fine folks at
they're from 2 different local game stores that do printing and painting. So our local game store, Excelsior Games, does this kind of work. In addition to, they make really cool dice. And then also Jamie Krause from Swords and Boards in Ohio has made some of the prototypes as well and painted them. So
there's Jaws.
Yeah, they're all beautiful.
Yeah, we got Dozer here. So we got some awesome and we are so we've been working a lot with the engineers from the factory, working on making sure that they can mass produce the minis in the form. So you've seen some of the changes we've made to Strider to reinforce, etc. Tweaks on the colors to make sure that the coloring process works properly. we're looking forward to getting miniature samples and making sure that those are sort of the most important piece with the minis for Robot Quest. So we know that the factory we're working with can do a great job with boards and cards and tiles, all those things. The minis are the thing that we are really concentrating on making sure the quality is great. So I just want to show you guys those the prototype minis that we've got, and we'll have like factory prototype minis hopefully soon. So any other
I had a few questions that I'd taken notes on. So El Pandito asked if you have any updates on the Deluxe Nova collection.
Yeah, so we have a printing printing window locked in with the printer. We have we actually got a sample. Well, sort of the last thing we got a sample of was the rule book for Deluxe Nova, because basically these take the least time to print. And this is it's a big, beautiful book, and we put in like large artwork because we had with such a nice big book, we thought it'd be cool to have some big art splashes as well. So yeah, the rule book. Sorry, I keep whacking you with a giant rule book. So we've got the rule book was the sort of last physical proof item that we that existed, and that's been approved. And we have a printing window. The expected timeline end of April to middle of May is when they will have the first completed ones off the factory floor. So basically actual production copies. And then we will get some of those production copies airshipped to us and check those, because that's everything we've gotten up till now. They've done it on this. We paid extra to have them do it on the actual machines that the final versions would be done at, so we can make sure the quality is where we want it to be. But the main stuff is the stuff that's being printed, in that full run. So we'll get advanced copies of those airshipped to us for us to check and make sure that everything's right on the actual versions that they're mass producing. And so we should have those in hand sometime in May. Then basically then it's a matter of them finishing off that print run, packing all the stuff onto pallets and containers, and shipping them overseas and getting them to backers. So basically we are and the timeline on this is a little bit longer than normal production, because we need extra time for the cards to dry, so you don't get that foil bending scenario. And we have lots of little extra bells and whistles, like the magnetic box and the UV treatment on the box, and all the various stuff we're doing. Makes it take a little bit longer than, say, printing a random set of like Frontiers or something like that. So this is but we've basically everything's approved. We have our time window from the factory. So now it's just a matter of waiting for that production, and hopefully not hitting any like crazy COVID related disruptions on our timeline. So knock on wood, hopefully we'll be smooth sailing at that point. All right, other questions?
Yeah, Christian and Storm Shield were commenting and asking about when you back the Heroms Kickstarter or other Kickstarters, will you be able to add on the Kickstarter exclusive promo card packs or other Kickstarter exclusive things?
So basically, whenever we do a Kickstarter, so we'll have like the Heroms Dungeons Kickstarter will be this summer. As we mentioned previously, we were going to do it last year, but we decided to change our process and get all the files ready for the printer before we do the Kickstarter, to shorten that window from when you back to when you get the stuff. But when we do that Kickstarter, you'll be able to add on exclusives from Hero Realms, from previous Hero Realms Kickstarters. Also, if you want to get like a Star Realms or Sorcerer or any of our other games Kickstarter exclusive, we have kind of a vault of Kickstarter exclusive content that is available in any Kickstarter. So they might have been things that were sort of free stretch goals and stuff for the original Kickstarter, but now you can pay to get those, those old exclusives. So basically, when you back a Kickstarter, you have access to all of our Kickstarter exclusives that we have in stock.
So Christian asks if there's any plans to put some trap cards mechanic into Heroms, and also when will we be seeing more spoilers for dungeons?
So we don't currently have like a trap card mechanic in the game, but the Realms games are very dynamic. You can do a lot with mechanics in the game, so it is possible that at some point there may be some some hidden style effects like that. Especially we have especially cool access in digital to be able to do cool things like that. But currently, no plans on that particular mechanic. As far as more spoilers, probably in the sometime in the coming month we'll do a few more spoilers. Certainly, we'll be ramping up the spoilers as we get closer to the Kickstarter launch.
Yeah, great. And Andrew had a question about Ruin of Thandar coming into the digital app. Can you comment on whether
we
there are
will
plans for that?
not have Ruin of Thandar specifically in the digital app. We wanted to keep the physical and digital campaigns separate so that players wouldn't get the play experience spoiled and could, and basically, I played the physical campaign. There's nothing cool, no surprises in the digital, or vice versa. But we are the same people who brought you the design, basically design and did the story and stuff for the Ruin of Thandar campaign series, are doing campaign series within the app. So you will have solo and cooperative campaigns that you can play in the app, going through a story, leveling up as you go, etc. So while you won't be able to play the Ruin of Thandar specifically, you will be able to play play experiences like it in the app. Now there'll be 1 or 2 player play because we're not expanding the app to like 3, 4, 5 as you can do in physical. But it is something that we are adding. So you will have, so it's basically it's even better because you'll be able to experience the physical campaigns and additional campaigns in digital. Let's see. Will dungeons co-op work similarly to Ruin of Thandar with the boss having its own deck? So it will be very similar in a lot of ways. So basically, the whole like party formation and the turn structure. The deck mechanic is a thing that we're doing in Thandar, and we have a different mechanics for controlling the bad guys in the dungeon set. But the core rules of I can if I have healing and there's no bad guys in my area, I can heal a teammate and if I clear the bad guys in front of me, I can hit the bad guys in front of a friend. So like player areas, boss areas, all those sort of core mechanics are going to stay, but there'll be some different stuff like for example, the boss deck is not going to be a thing in dungeons, but the boss will have different ways of controlling their stuff. Dragon, Lich, and Hydra in the app would definitely be cool. The Hydra tokens are definitely something we could put as something that you could get in the next Kickstarter, where we can have official printed ones. You can download them for free and print it out yourself on our website, but obviously having nice professionally printed ones would be cool. So that's certainly something we could do either as an add-on or a stretch goal in the upcoming Kickstarter. That's a great idea. Any other questions?
I think we've answered all of them, but if anyone has a quick question or a long question, go ahead and post it now.
And definitely thank you so much to Larry.
Yeah, thank you,
that
Larry.
was awesome having you on, and a fun discussion. All right. I think
I think we're good. Thank you everyone for watching.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you next week. Bye.